This is Scott Vanderplew, and you're listening to the Artist Edition Index Podcast, episode 54.
I went down to the St. James Infirmary, found my baby there, stretched out on a long white table, so sweet, so cold, so fast.
Welcome back to All Things AE, where we take the written word from aeindex.org and bring it to as much life as I can muster in my voice. We'll be discussing what has happened in the past month on the website and in the world of artist editions. So let's get to it. No focused topic for this month, but we've got several things to discuss. Might as well hop into shipping changes. We'll go right shipping changes since there were no solicitations again this month. There is a new artisan edition in the works. It hasn't been announced yet, but it's Mike Mignola, Hellboy in Hell. I saw it listed on Penguin Random House's website. I'll give it a few months, and then I'll add it to the website. But no solicitations of any AE format book. Shipping changes was the Steranko Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Artisan Edition has been moved to September 8th. That's the only change. We currently have 4 titles on the docket for this year with actual shipping dates. That's Jack Kirby's Fantastic Four Artisan Edition, still scheduled for June 30th. EC Covers Artist Edition, still scheduled for July 7th, the aforementioned Nick Fury Artisan. And then John Buscema's Marvel Heroes Artist Edition for October 13th. Interestingly, I also see October 12th frequently listed. That is the bookstore release, the Penguin Random House release, which books come out on Tuesday. So you may see it listed as the 12th, which is the Tuesday. You may see it listed as the 13th. Depends on where you're going to get it from. You're getting it from Amazon or Barnes & Noble or Indigo, then it should ship to you or may arrive the 12th. Getting it from a comic shop, you're going to get it the 13th. And speaking of changes, we've got 2 crowdfunded books that seem to be slipping as well. First one we can say is the new one from P. Craig Russell, and the newsletter, the Indiegogo update, number 15, from Wayne Allen Herald, said that they're both now vaccinated, him and Craig, and they've been able to go to the Billy Island Cartoon Library Museum in Ohio to borrow his art because he's donated most of his art there. So they borrowed some art for the book. They started scanning again, and Craig says in the update that we should get the book in the fall. So, and he mentions the shipping issues, which you may not have heard about, but I think I've spoken about it. Shipping containers are in short supply. Boats are stacking up. Things are just being poorly handled coming out of Asia as far as materials. So that all ties into the Steve Rood update that Janelle Rood, Steve's wife, who handles the crowdfunding and sales and everything else, I think, to do with him, said that they had a delay too. I'll give you their blurb. These are printing and will be shipped at the end of the month. Unfortunately, due to the current situation with cargo shipping, we will be unable to get them in-house quickly. We attempted to get a portion of the book shipped ahead via air, and the price was $75 per book. Sad to say, we were quite literally waiting for our ship to come in. That also comes at a high cost, but we will be absorbing that and not raising any of the prices. So, a bit disappointing. Delay on that book. Delay on the other book from Wayne Allen Herald. P. Craig Russell's Symbolist Fantasies, Fine Art Edition. So just keep your fingers crossed. I mean, if you look at artist editions or AE format books for this year, it's slim pickings. IDW is going to have 3 artist edition books released this year. A few artisan editions, which is interesting, but not new material for our fans of the site and this podcast. And then we're going to have the 2 crowdfunded, and I think that's it. So if everything comes through, we're going to have 5 AE format books this year. That's going to be the smallest number we've had since 2012. So Scott Dunbier has said repeatedly that he's trying to work at 4 per year. I guess that fell a bit short this year, but we should be expecting 4 from IDW, moving forward or moving from last year, which did happen. So let's hope other publishers can get in the swing of things. We had that Titan book was announced, but we don't have any sort of shipping date for that yet. Maybe that's a 2022 date. waiting and seeing. That's what we'll do. And speaking of books and changes, I caught this from Diamond and then asked for confirmation from Scott Dunbar. There's a second print of Jim Lee's X-Men Artist Edition coming out. The first print sold out, and apparently that was their biggest print run ever. And this second print is just going to be exactly the same as the first print, except it will say second print inside. Same cover, same everything else. So I guess with the sales through Penguin Random House, things are really picking up. And much more interest in the book and much more awareness in the books. We'll see if that translates to the EC covers, which is coming out in a month and a bit. And, of course, the John Buscema's Marvel Heroes, which looks awesome. I had a chance to peruse a retailer preview and include the whole book as a PDF. Not great detail, but I was able to pull the table of contents from that. I will be posting that in an artifacts post this week on aeindex.org. So just a table of contents, nothing else. It's a preview book. I would not want to show any of the interior of the book other than this table of contents. So look for that this week. I'll also, with that, I will put up the shipping changes that Wayne Allen Harold mentioned. So I am harassing Wayne for a cover of the book. I don't know if he's got a, when the book was solicited through Indiegogo, there was no cover. I asked him for a cover. He was in the midst of shipping. He was in the midst of moving. So now that he's moved and out and about, I'm going to ask him again if he's got a cover image for us, because that'd be awesome. I'd like to have that in the index proper, just to show a list. All right. That's the artifact for this month. Let's talk about the poll, because this is an interesting poll this month from our good friend David Chikoy, great Patreon patron and overall fan of all things AE, just like the rest of us here. Here's the poll. These modern masters have worked on some of Marvel and DC's most iconic comics of the last decades. Their unique styles are unreplicable, yet so many artists have been inspired to emulate them. All of them left us far too soon, yet left a huge mark on the world of comics. Who among them is most deserving of the AE treatment? Which of these gone too soon artists deserves the AE format treatment? All right. We had Norm Brayfogle, Darwin Cook, Steve Dillon, Seth Fisher, John Paul Leon. I don't have to tell you how the voting gone, because everybody who listens to the podcast, I'm sure, went to the site on the 16th when the polls go live and voted. But I will give you what things stand for now. I think if you were guessing, you'd guess right. Darwin Cook leading with 40 votes. I did vote for Darwin Cook on this as well. John Paul Leon, 26 votes, coming in number 2. Number 3, still Steve Dillon with 11 votes. Norm Brayfogle, 10 votes. Seth Fisher, 7 votes. My second vote would be John Paul Leon. So this is very rare that I actually line up with the voters here. But Darwin Cook, awesome. Who wouldn't want that? That's the poll. As always, that goes up on the 16th of the month. It used to be the 15th, then I realized, hey, that's not halfway. I want it the half of the month. So 16th to the end. So that this poll ends as always today. I'm always recording the last day of the month. Again, I can't say always. You can't see these things. Some days I do actually let it slip to the first, but most podcasts I record on the last day of the month, and the polls go to the last day of the month. So if you'd still like to vote, go on. I am trying to keep the voting alive. Older polls have reset, but the last few have been good. So you can always just go back and vote, see if people are still voting on these things. All right. Now is the time when we normally talk about sales. But again, with Diamond, the change and everything, there's no sales numbers. We haven't really seen a book where we'd see sales numbers anyways. We've only, the X-Men book would be the only one. But that month has passed. So let's go to Artist Edition Index out of print sales for April 2021. These are sales of any book that Diamond lists either as out of print or back-ordered. Now, back-ordered seems to be a moving target sometimes. Some of these books actually come back in stock. An example is Frank Cho's Savage Wolverine Artist Edition. That book showed back-ordered for, 2 years. Maybe a little more. And then suddenly it was back in stock. So I don't know if sometimes, if somebody finds something at the warehouse and goes, hey, we got more of these. But let's look at some numbers. This month isn't as dramatic as we've seen before, but there's still some high sales numbers. So Alien, the Illustrated Story, the original art edition, 2 copies sold for an average of $262.47. That book is just moving up. 2 copies of Best of EC Comics, Volume 1 Artist Edition for an average of $285.09. There's a bump as well. Three copies of Dave Cockrum's X-Men Artifact Edition, averaging $156.16. I think that's a little bit down. 3 copies of Dave Stevens' The Rocketeer Artist Edition first print, sold for an average of $209.44, and 2 copies of the second print, sold for an average of $220. So it's all about the cover in that circumstance. I'm not sure how many people care about whether artist editions are first print or second print. I mean, logistically, you'd think that any corrections or any mistakes are fixed in the second print, and then you maybe want the more corrected book. Old-timer comic collectors probably still want the first print. I mean, that's still sort of stuck in my mind. I have a hard time getting over that. All right. 1 copy of Dave Mazzucchelli's Daredevil Born Again Artist Edition sold for $249.99. I sold my copy, my opened copy, for $225 through the website store, but I didn't add my number in there. I just thought I'd mention it. I haven't had a lot of sales, but got a couple. All right, Don Rose's Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck, Volume 1, sold for $189.14. 2 copies of Frank Cho's Savage Wolverine, sold for an average of $144.48. 1 copy of Frank Miller's Daredevil Artifact Edition, sold for $150. 2 copies of Frank Miller's Sin City, The Hard Goodbye Curator's Collection, sold for an average of $133.63. Wow, still selling undercover. Wow. 1 copy of Gene Colan's Tomb of Dracula Artist Edition, sold for $249.95. I feel like that was the breakout of the newer books when the numbers started to go down. Has been maintained some higher prices. That came out in January of 2018. So 3 years old and still maintaining. That's pretty good. I mean, yeah, wow. Gil Kane's The Amazing Spider-Man Artist Edition, 1 sold for $124.97. 1 copy of Jack Davis's EC Stories sold for $299.99. Wow. So there's a twice up EC book. I think these EC books are starting to get some legs too. Jack Kirby's Fantastic Four, The World's Greatest Artist Edition, 1 copy, $149.99. No copies of Jack Kirby's Fantastic Four Artist Edition. I wonder if that's because the Artisan Edition is coming out. Don't know. All right, 2 copies of Jack Kirby's The Mighty Thor Artist Edition, sold for an average of $117.53. 1 copy of Jim Lee DC Legends, sold for $225. 1 copy of Jim Starlin's Marvel Cosmic Artifact Edition, sold for $101.69. 1 copy of Joe Kubert's Tarzan and the Apes, sold for $99.95. 2 copies of John Byrne's Fantastic Four Artist Edition, sold for an average of $199.98. 2 copies of John Romita's The Amazing Spider-Man Artist Edition, sold for $124.99 average. So that's just, I think those sold for $125. I'm waffling on those early prices. They're hard to gauge. I think that Rocketeer was $100. I think Thor was $100. I'd have to look it up. Let's just, let's diverge for one moment and just check the sell. It was in fact $100 US. All right, good. I've got links to the reviews. If you click on any of the titles in the out of print sales index, it just goes right to review. So that's what I did right now. All right, so it was a $100 cover, and this has an Artisan edition, so it's kind of low. 1 copy of the Volume 2 of that was sold for $150. 2 copies of Lone Wolf and Cub Gallery Edition sold for an average of $302.50. This book has really moved up this year. Yowzers. 1 copy of Marvel Covers Artist Edition First Print, $137.50. 2 copies of Michael Golden's Micronauts, averaging $240.26. 1 copy of Mike Mignola's Hellboy in Hell and Other Stories Artist Edition Second Print, $125. That has a $150 cover, so that's not a bad deal. 2 copies of Sergio Aragona's Gru the Wanderer, averaging $142.50. 2 copies of Spawn Vault Edition, averaging $237.50. 1 copy of Star Wars Dark Times Gallery Edition, $50. 1 copy of Steranko Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Artist Edition, First Print, $155. Again, I think the art is awesome in that book. I love Steranko. I love that early S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff. And the twice up 15 by 22 book, just get the full-size Artist Edition. Don't get the Artisan Edition, please. There's second print still available. You can find this first print online. It really needs the bigger size. All right. 2 copies of the Book of Ballads, the original art edition, sold for an average of $46.12. 1 copy of the Prisoner original art edition, sold for $185. I don't get that. 2 copies of Usagi Jimbo Samurai and Other Stories gallery edition, sold for an average of $160.04. 2 copies of Wally Wood's EC Stories artist edition, sold for an average of $442. That's down from the ridiculous high we saw earlier of $675. But again, I digress. Isn't that what this podcast is all about? Me digressing about what's on the website? One copy of Walter Simonson Star Wars Artist Edition sold for $152.29. One copy of Walter Simonson Star Wars Artist Edition first print sold for $135. And that is the Index out of print sales for April. Let me see if I put anything new. I did on the crazy prices list at the bottom of my page. David Mazzucchelli's Daredevil Born Again Artist Edition, signed, slipcased, sold on May 2nd for $1,664.99. That is not my record on my list. My record still stands with John Romita's Amazing Spider-Man Artist Edition remarked for $1,800. John Burns X-Men Artifact Edition signed comes in third at $1,000. $7.99 for Jim Lee's X-Men Artist Edition signed. The newest book that is still commanding high prices. Wally Wood, we talked about, $6.75, and then we have one copy of Alien, the Illustrated Story, Original Art Edition, sold for $374.95, April 26th. What is going on? Now remember, that Alien book had two editions. There was the one through Diamond that had a signature page signed by Simonson in pencil. I don't understand why he signed it in pencil. And then we had a general book release with no signature page. So if you're hunting for Alien Illustrated Story, there's an art edition, get the one with the signature page if it's not that much more money for you. That is definitely the way to go. All right, that is monthly sales. Good times. What else be going on the website? All right, mail. I was going to talk about mail. Who buzzed me? Billy H. tweeted me again and let me know that a link on the site, on the index proper, did not work. It went to so I was thankful for that. Please, everybody, I have no ego in this. If you see something that's broken on the site, please email me, scott@aindex.org. I really want the site to be the best I can, but I'm the only one doing it, and, things like that happen. A link will go, or there'll be an edit, and something will break. And I don't know about it, and then I feel like people are missing out because I have not been able to give them the right links. So thanks, Billy H., for that. And everybody, please write into me. I will answer any questions I have. I had some mail back and forth with Scott Dunbar this month. Again, I asked about the Jim Lee second print, and he said no new cover, no new anything. And as well, he did mention to me that the John Buscema book is wrapped at the printers, so it should be on time for October 12th/13th. What else? Just I want to make a reminder, if you're not following, I've been doing flip-throughs. I think we've talked about it ad nauseum on this, but again, isn't that what podcasts are for? About doing videos. I don't want to do video reviews still, but I have been doing video flip-throughs, so when a new book comes out, I try and I put the book down, I get my phone out, I record it as I flip every page. So I have not done that many. I did the Micronauts, the Jim Lee X-Men. I did Jerome K, Jerome Bloche, Contrefaçons, which is a review I'll be talking about in a few minutes. So I'm trying to do, books, the new books as I get them. I'm trying to do the video flip through. Some books I'm only going to do the artist editions for now. I did review a second book this month, and that was Big John Buscema, Comics and Drawings, which is a catalog. I just didn't feel like flipping through that. As well, I probably won't be doing flip throughs of soft covers just because it's hard to hold the page open sometimes on soft covers and flip. So, anyways, I did do some backtracking. I did the Rocketeer, and then somebody asked for Contract with God, so I did that one. So there is a link to YouTube on the site, so if you can, I'd love it if you subscribed and then just catch what we do there. I do this podcast on YouTube as well, and I'm doing the video flip-throughs. Nothing else right now. As well, mid-break here, this is always my time to promote fundraising. I guess it's it is what it is. I have 3 ways you can help me. You can be a Patreon patron for $1 or more a month. Greatly appreciate that. It's just sign-ups on the website everywhere, or you can go to patreon.com/aindex or aindex.org/patreon. I put the links for you everywhere, so any review, anything, you'll see it. Second way is by buying something through the site. That would be greatly appreciated. Most of the links I have are affiliate links, which means I get a small percentage back. If at all possible, please use my Things from Another World links. They give me the best return. After that, I think it's 8 books, Forbidden Planet. Amazon's the worst, but I mean, eBay's good. So please use those. That's greatly appreciated. I said 3 ways to support the site. I can't think of a third way right now. Interesting. What was I thinking? Nope. Drawn a blank. Sorry. Okay. That's that. Let's get into the reviews. We'll go in order of publication date. Big John Buscema, Comics and Drawings. Here's the blurb. John Buscema has been called one of the finest comic artists who ever put pen to paper. I'm not sure who said that. I'm pretty sure the writer of this book did, but I'm not sure everybody else is. All right, anyways. Digressing once more. His work from Marvel Comics on the Avengers, Thor, the Fantastic Four, and Silver Surfer are all classics, highly regarded by fans from around the world. The same is true for his definitive rendition of Conan the Barbarian. Buscema breathed life into Robert E. Howard's legendary creation in a manner that has rarely been rivaled. IDW is proud to announce the first American publication of John Buscema, Comics and Drawings, a special edition of the fine art catalog created for the most extensive exhibition of Buscema's art ever staged. Weighing in at nearly 300 pages, this gorgeous hardcover book is a dream come true for fans of the visual mastery of John Buscema, an artist whose ilk we are unlikely to see again. And that's some exciting copy right there. This book was released July 11th, 2012. It's 9.7 inches by 11.2 inches, 328 pages, a hardcover. It's sold for $59.99 USD cover price. But let me preface that with good luck finding one. I bought this book when it came out and then let it languish on my shelf until now. So 8.5 years just hanging out. This is unfortunately the pattern that I have for books. It looks interesting. I buy it. It sits on my shelf. I get to reading it years and years later. That's just how it goes. All right. Review full of pictures. As always, I might as well just call them picto reviews because I have a whole lot of pictures, not a lot of words. This book has a lot of art. Basically, it's a very nice biography and written by Florentino Flores, and he's not afraid of stating some strong opinions there. So the book has, like I said, has a lot of original art, and then there's 109 pages, full pages of original art in this. Sorry, there's 109 full pages of original art with over 100 of them being full comic images. There are some pages with multiple pieces of art, but very few. This was originally done as a softcover catalog for the exhibition in Italy, and then Edition 10. I don't know if they did the French version or they did that softcover version in Italian for the... I don't know, unfortunately. I'm drawing that from pictures of this book of the when the exhibition opened, and I see people walking around with the softcover catalog. So... if you're a John Buscema fan, this book is awesome. There's a lot of art. It's a good size, too. I mean, what did I say the size was? Basically, 9.7 by 11.2. That's a good size. So you get some nice detail. There's a bit of overlap with this and the John Buscema Silver Surfer. Not a lot. Obviously, there's a couple Silver Surfer pages. There's some covers. That's not much of an overlap, I got to say. There was that catalog earlier of John Buscema with the 2 stories, the Thor and the Conan, and there's this, and then there's the new artist edition. But as far as original art for John Buscema, there's not a lot of books. And this, it's interesting. This catalog in the text, he states over and over again how fast Buscema was and how many pages he drew. When you look at it, it's like, really he's following Kirby behind in his output. But where are these original pages? Were none of them kept together, or very few? It's surprising. The book is really well done. Scott Dunbier, I think, was the editor for IDW on this. He is the special projects editor, so I'm sure he edited this. The credits on the book are kind of hard to determine. They list IDW, and then they list Edition D. They list the catalog. They list the exhibition. It's a bit hard to decipher. I assume this is the IDW edition, so Scott Demure had to be the editor for this. Beautiful hardcover, glossy pages, lots and lots of original art. Well worth picking up. So don't... but like I said, man, live. I think I've got an eBay link here. Let me click on eBay and see if anything comes up. All right, oh my goodness. There's one on eBay right now. and it's $184.31. Let me check completed sold items here. None sold. So this could be few and far between to locate. I also did Abe Books, which I don't, no matches. Wow. I'm going to start adding Biblio too. So Biblio is sort of like Abe Books, where it's a collection of bookstores that list books. So I'll look into that later. I signed up for it. You should start seeing links next month, but this one's a hard one to find. So if you can, set up a search for it on eBay, and definitely pick this up if you're a Buscema fan. All right, second review of this month was Jerome K, Jerome Bloche, Contrefaçons. Let me get the pronunciation from Google here. Here we go. Contrefaçons. So I was close. I like Google pronunciations there. All right, let me give you the blurb for this. Now, this again is Google Translate, so please excuse. I tried to edit it, but this was the information from the website. A 104-page album, 30 by 42 centimeter format, numbered and signed by Alain Dodier, containing the entirety of the 70 original plates in facsimile reproduction, 25 pages of color graphic notebook, resuming research, as well as all the plates and boxes abandoned or redone in a facsimile reproduction of the original. Reproductions of photos from Alain Dodier's personal collection, how an author puts himself in the scene. A magnificent silkscreen bookplate with an original illustration, 25 by 32 format, produced by the Print House Experience, signed by Alain Dodier. And a second bookplate using the cover design with a new coloring from Studio Cerise. It is produced in high-definition digital art proofing, printed by Edition Bello-Loco, a cardboard cover without gloss for an old effect, original cover visual, round spine in tile red canvas with hot stamping of the title. Printed on Munken Superior 170-gram paper, sent in shielded cardboard packaging. This book was released in December 29 by Edition Black and White. It is, again, 30 by 42 centimeters, 104 pages. It is 145 euros. Yowzers. This, I've been watching Edition Black and White, and its owner, Raphael, let me get this right, Wacker, W-A-C-K-E-R, I hope I didn't pronounce that name correctly. I've emailed him and asked questions because they've got a fine selection of books on their site. And, I don't know if you're familiar with the French market. I try and cover some of them. I don't have a depth here at all. But some of them will reprint the art pages as they are, and that's like an artist edition. And some of them will do the art in black and white format. I find the bulk of them will do it in black and white and not scans original art. So you have to watch even on a site like this. Even on the Edition Black and White, I had to email them and say, is this one, pages? Is this one isn't? So it's a bit tricky. And there is some language to observe when you're searching for these. It is, if you see planche originale en reproduction facsimile or planche facsimile, then you've got a good idea that it is the original artboards. As well, one of the beautiful thing about Edition Black and White is a lot of pictures. So a lot of pictures of the book, and you can look at the pictures and say, yep, that is definitely original art. So that's a nice thing to do. That is why I started the AE Index, is because I couldn't get pictures of anything and had no idea why I'd be spending money on these books or anybody else, really. All right. So just a couple things. This book is signed. It is numbered. It is numbered on the cardboard box, right on the sticker. And then that number corresponds to the book number. That was obviously the book is numbered. And then there's a small sticker signed by Alain Dodier on the end paper. The first you open the book up, there's the sticker. It's neat how they actually got it to fit into the art of the end papers. But then, as I said, there's two prints, and the one print is numbered the same as the book. So my book is 174. So therefore, my exclusive print, and my book are 174, and that is stated on the box. So very straightforward. This book really, there was a comment on YouTube, on Facebook that said, you made a mistake here. in my review, I said that he takes the best parts of the artist edition, and creates this book. And the commenter said, these books came, the AE format books started in Europe, which is very true. Their books of scans of original art did start there, but there's no question that Edition Black and White took the artist editions that were being produced in Canada, in North America, as a I can't think of the word here. Anyway, so yeah, just some of the things about the book that say, the Scream Artist Edition. The cardboard cover, the box, right? The case, cardboard case. The sticker that shows the cover, right? The UPS code, the publisher, and then just how the book is produced. It's extremely well done. I really think this is, Edition Black and White, based on this, I'm holding them in the highest regard. One of the things I do appreciate about the European books, and I wish I read French. My French is poor. I'm trying to learn some French. I struggle along with my dictionary and my Google Translate. But not only do we get the full story in the original plates, and it's interesting he used a black border as opposed to the white border, the off-white that we're used to seeing in North America. And if the page isn't quite full size, he did black border on the side as well, but mostly it's top and bottom. So I like that black, really makes the inking pop. Really looks great. But then it's the extras, right? It's the signed and numbered, which is nice. Not a major selling factor for me. But it's the extras where it's not just extra original art. It's dealing with the living, or dealing with the artist. Now, this artist is living, so therefore they're able to get materials. But like other books I've seen, the Franklin books, had lots of background material as well. So pictures of Alain Dodier, basically him taking snapshots, either cars or himself or other people, just for poses for models for his book. It's nice to see. And then something I've never seen before is when he redid panels, right? So he's got scans of panels that he rejected, and there's preliminaries, roughs and things like that. This is an astounding book, and I'm so pleased that I got to purchase it. The interesting thing is I've been buying from Europe, and I've been trying to get some decent shipping. Now I live in Canada. I think we all know that, but I have a U.S. post box. I mean, the border's closed, but I'm willing to get things shipped to the post box if it's much cheaper to ship to the States. But you're talking about 145 euros for this book, and then I go online and I go to order it from the publisher, and the shipping is 30 something euros, and I think each. And it's over, or sometimes it's 40, and I've been quoted 60 for some of these books for shipping. Well, I'm not going to spend. That's at current exchange rate, that's $90 Canadian for shipping for 60 euros, right? That's insane. So I have found a site that I've been so thrilled with, and this is not. I don't get affiliate. There's no affiliate as far as I can tell for this, but it's Collector BD, and their shipping is really reasonable. It's quick. They seem to have agreements with the publishers where the publisher ships the book to me. So I had bought 2 books last month. I'll be reviewing the second one in June. But I had both books shipped to me for 30 euros, and they each came from their own publisher. So I don't know how they worked that out. I just placed a second order for 3 more books. That's probably going to be it for me for this year for French books, because that's the budget. But the one book is a Luzel Mickey Mouse book. And previously I tried to order that, and the person I ordered from said, well, it's over 3 kilos, so it's 60 euros. That was my 60 euro quote. Ridiculous. I ordered that, another AE format book, and then a soft cover of the AE from Dargaud. And all 3 books are shipping to me from 3 different people, and it's coming in under 40 euros. And Collector BD gave me a 5% discount. So I'm thrilled all around. And I had a question about tax, because the first time I had ordered from them, they showed tax, and I was and they replied immediately and said, no, that's just ignore that. There is no tax because you're not in France. So I was amazing customer service, great shipping prices. The things come packed well. I can't say enough about Collector BD for sure. I did want to mention one thing. It mentions the 170 gram paper. I believe they meant 170 GSM. That's grams per square meter, and that is a measurement of paper. And this book's paper is quite thick. It's the thickest AE format book paper I've run across. I emailed Scott Dunbar and I said, "Hey, what's the because Graffiti Designs states in their in the front of their book on the colophon blurb that they use 160 GSM paper." I asked Scott what he uses. He says it varies sometimes depending on which printer they're using. It's between 150 and 160 GSM. And I can really feel that going from 160 GSM to 170 GSM is a big move. This paper is just thick and luxurious. It's really, really nice. Everything about the book screams quality. It really does. Like I said in the review, my closest, what I would compare this closest to of any book would be Frank Miller's Sin City Careers collection, because it had that cloth spine. It had all the extras in the back that were just more than just some art. It really they went above and beyond, and that's what I tie this closely to. Unfortunately, John Lind and Kitchen Sink Books are gone now, so we have to hope. I keep my fingers crossed that John lands somewhere else or just on his own, and he starts doing AE format books again. So we can only hope. But that was a very high bar, and I think Edition Black and White is definitely attaining that. So they have a new book coming out. Atom Agency Volume 2 is coming out next month, hopefully. Fingers crossed again. And then when that ships, I will order one and get that. So, well, there you go. I will be getting more French books this year. Well, that's a holdout for me. There's some other wonderful books. There's a new Wanted Lucky Luke, Empress Charlotte, but unfortunately Mathieu Bonhomme, the artist, doesn't like his original art like that. He likes to do the books in black and white, so Edition Black and White is doing those, but they're in black and white, not original art scans. So that's a pass for me. All right, that wraps it up for this month. Again, visit us at aenx.org. Ask me any questions, scott@aenx.org. Support me, Patreon, or any of the links on the website. Thank you for listening, and join me again next month.
Let her go, God bless her. Wherever she may be, she can search this wide world over. She'll never find a sweet man like me.